Ako si Kyle, pero Filipino pangalan Kulas. Pito ka bulan sa una, mag-amigo tayan sa balay sa Cagayan tanawa ko ang storya, Kulas. And then daghang barkada, Kulas. So that's why my Filipino name is Kulas. Um, yeah, pwede gikan sa Canada pero magpuyo Cagayan so storya daghang Bisaya. Pero sa Tagalog, galing sa Canada nakatira sa Cagayan so konti na lang sa Tagalog mag-practice. Pohon, basin pohon. Alright, so I just want to start, guys, by doing this, okay? Boom. There we go, smile, okay? You know, it's the smallest, simplest thing. But, you know, I really believe it's so beautiful, and it's one of the most, magical things we can do in life, right here, smile. So just want to start that off by doing that with you guys. Put it over there for later. All right, the smile sign. Why do I have a smile sign? So I want to tell you a story. Here I was, January 17th, 2 in the morning, flying from Bangkok to Cebu. I had never been to the Philippines ever. I was with 4 incredibly close friends of mine, and I felt like crap. I was sitting on that plane, I'm tired, I'm miserable, I'm nervous, I've never been to this place, are my friends gonna be there? I'm hungover, sakit olo, like, I'm not in a good state, okay? So I'm flying on this plane, and I get to Cebu, and I land, and it's 2:30 in the morning, and I walk out of the airport, and my friends are still inside getting their bags, and I look around, like, please be here, where are my friends, please be here. And I walk around and I look to my right, and there's these 2 guys, and they're wearing cardboard boxes. And I look at them for a second and go, they must be beggars. So I just walk past them. And then they follow me. I'm like, what are these guys doing? Why are they following me? I look over, no money, guys, no money. And, and I keep walking, and they follow me again. So I turn around, and then I look, and there's 2 people I've never met my entire life, wearing cardboard boxes. But they say, we love you, Kyle. Welcome to the Philippines, Kyle. All these big hearts and smiles all over them. And instantly, I'm feeling like crap. I'm feeling miserable. But all of a sudden, I feel really good. And I even wore one. It's kind of like a bikini. It says, welcome, Kyle. I felt really, really good. And all those 2 people did, who I didn't even know who they were. They were friends of friends of friends. All they did was stand there and present something really positive and nice to me. And all that crap I was feeling, all that insecurity, all that just whatever that negative stuff was, it just disappeared. And there I am. A little bit blurry, but I have a big smile on my face, the one photo they got. So after that, what happened? For 3 weeks, I stayed a week in Cebu. I went to Cagayan for a week, went to Davao, went to Quezon, Laag Gamay. And, for 3 weeks, I just had happiness thrown at me, just absolutely thrown at me, but by people I didn't even know. Not my friends from work in Hong Kong, my Filipino friends, but the friends of friends. And then they treated me like family. And not only that, I observed they treated each other like family. My Filipino friends were treating their friends like family and just throwing happiness at me, cooking adobo at 3 in the morning, giving me blankets, just throwing smiles at me on the streets. I'd walk around, there's a smile, kalipay, kalipay, ayos. So I became super overwhelmed. And after that 3 weeks, I went back to work in Hong Kong in February. I was just sitting there like, wow, what is this place? I've been to 29 countries. I've been all over the world, and what is this culture? What is up with this happiness and this stuff? So what happened is I was back in Hong Kong, and this is the first time you'll ever see a smile photo. I was back in Hong Kong, and it was April. This is 2013. And I felt, I was sitting there, I was going to work, and I felt really, really miserable again. I don't know what it was. I was just working and overwhelmed and feeling like crap. And I thought, you know what? I wonder what will happen if I do what those Filipino people do, and I put something positive into a sign, or just something really simple and happy, and then go out in the world and follow it and use it and see what happens. So I did. So I thought about those 2 guys, Andy and Mikhail. They're USC students right now. They go to the school still. Those 2 guys are in those cardboard boxes. So what I did is, inspired by them, I wrote smile on a big piece of orange cardboard, and I just went out into Hong Kong, feeling like crap. And I just stood there with a smile sign and smiled, presented something small and positive. I kid you not, 90% of the people that passed me, they'd look at me, and they'd smirk, or they'd smile, or they'd laugh. But you could see in their faces, just by presenting something. I'm not going, you have to smile, smile, be amazing. No, I'm just standing there, something positive. And what it did is it inspired a brief moment of happiness or positivity in their life. So for me, it was really, from that moment, I just thought, you know what? I'm going to carry this thing with me for the rest of my life as a reminder to do simple, small, positive things inspired by Filipino people. And we'll see what happens. And so I did. I just, for a whole year, 2013 to the beginning of 2014, everywhere I went in the world, whether it was on an airplane, I just shared smiles with people. And what happened? Smiling back. Awesome. Whether it was in the States, with random people in costumes and me wearing a one-piece pajama costume. Yeah, we're smiling, and it was great. I felt great, you know. Whether it was, this is in Malaysia, and funny enough, I got arrested for 45 minutes because they thought I was a Peruvian cocaine dealer. And this man interrogated me in prison. And I went back and had a smile with him after, why not? You know, some things, bad things happen in life sometimes, you can always smile through them. This is in the Philippines, you know, of course, I was coming and going from the Philippines at the time as well. And this is my first ever basketball game. Basketball, yeah, PBA, NBA, ayos. So yeah, I was enjoying it, smiling with the boys. This is my sister's wedding. I took it to my sister's wedding. This is in Canada, my first ever wedding, the only wedding, except for one Filipino one I've been to. And it was beautiful. I share that smile sign with my own family. You know, it's not a mysterious smile sign I only bring out in the Philippines. It's part of my life. I brought it to India. I drove across India in a rickshaw, and I brought the smile sign, and you know, it was amazing. Now, I want you to look at this photo, and you'll see on the side, there's an It's More Fun in the Philippines logo on my vehicle, because after that year, the whole time, you know, I was going around the world, doing things, sharing smiles. For the whole year, too, I came and went from the Philippines and stayed here for another 4 months. And there's so many things that I experienced in this country that really just kind of overwhelm me. I'll give you an example. Look at the way people give. Look at fiestas. That's in your culture. Every single Filipino knows what a fiesta is. What do? You open your house and give and give and give and give. What do you want in return? Happiness. You know? Look at the way people share here. I'll give you an example. I've been to a fishing community like Salai and Mindanao. And these fishermen go out and they work super hard. And they come back and everybody from the community comes and takes a handful. Because they share and they support each other. And I see that all over the Philippines. Give you another example. People work so freaking hard in this country, sometimes for so little, and they still take moments to enjoy their lives and be happy, even if they deserve more. And there's so many things. I can kick off for hours here, but I'm not going to. That really, really inspire me about this culture and this country. That at that point in my life, you know, putting the It's More Fun in the Philippines logo on a vehicle and driving across India, I knew at that point I had to be a part of this culture. I really wanted to learn from it. So what I did is I was sitting there on an airplane. I remember in end of January of 2014. And I was sitting on the airplane, I thought, okay, I want to learn from this culture. I want to know these simple, amazing things come from. These amazing things that are unique to Filipino hearts and so abundant. So I thought, okay, how am I going to learn from these guys? Well, you know, inspired by that smile sign, why don't I just ask them? Why don't I just ask Filipinos, tell me things that make you happy? Because clearly, if you guys are doing all these amazing, positive things, there's a lot of happiness out there. So why don't I just ask them? And then for a year, this past year, I just went around the country doing those things. So I just asked Filipinos, tell me things that make you happy, tell me things that make you proud, tell me things you enjoy about life here. And then I just go and do them. And I see how they make me feel. And here you go. So came to Sinulog, that was just last month. You know, and I had a great time. There's lots of happiness, and it was awesome. This is in Tondo, Manila, right in the heart of the slum. And I went and hung out with some Hubba Hubba drivers because people told me to. And tons of happiness there. It was great. We talked about good stuff. This is the original Tusla Bua in Paso here in Cebu. You know, people tell me to go eat food. Filipinos love food. So I went to the original cinco peso or lima peso for dua puso, and it's free. Libre Tusla Bua. You should go check it out. That's a good deal, hey? This is up in Mount Maagna. This is in Mindanao. Now, this one touches me a bit because where this photo is taken and with this tribe that I'm with, my government and every single person around the world tells me I shouldn't be there. Tells me it's evil, it's bad, it's dangerous, it's miserable. And I've driven 6,000 kilometers alone on a scooter around this part of the world, and it's not. That's a lie. You have to go and see it for yourself. There's so much beauty there. It's very, very isolated. So that was another thing. You know, a lot of people told me, go to Mindanao, see some of these positive things. I did, and there's a lot of it. This is in Camigan. Kyle, Kulas, Sakay sa Carabao. Okay, I will. And I even brought a friend, and he wrote it as well. And that's a farmer I met on the street. Gusto ko sakay sa Carabao, sir? Puede. All right, puede. So I sakay sa Carabao, and it was beautiful. It was beautiful. It was awesome. This is up in Tanay, Rizal, up in Luzon. They always tell me there's these amazing traditions or like little things you have as part of your culture, like how to build things. Filipinos are very resourceful. Well, these kids taught me how to build these little banana shooter guns, although they hijacked the smile sign. They took it away. I got it back, though. But you know what? This whole kind of thing, all I did was ask Filipinos to share simple, happy, positive things about their culture. I went and did them, and what's been happening, I'm walking living proof that when you share happiness, it inspires happiness. And the coolest thing is that you don't know how far that happiness is going to go. And it could be the simplest thing, like a smile sign, or meeting me at the airport with that welcome stuff, you know. And It's really a walking living proof. Sharing happiness inspires happiness. Now, one thing about that, I'm going to tell you three stories because there's so many people, and I witness it all the time, especially here in the Philippines, because you do deal with a lot of really negative stuff. But there's so many people who are so afraid to accept these simple happy moments in their lives or these simple things that can inspire other positive things. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you three stories. And this is in Mambuaya. This is just outside of Cagayan. Now, there's a lot of people there who live very, I'll say, simple lives. They just don't have a lot of material things. They work really hard. I have Barcada who live there, and they work really hard all day for 125 peso, and they support their families, and their kids go to school. But it's a very, very simple life compared to a lot of us. And I was scootering around there, just kind of checking it out, and boom, I just looked to the side, and there's these kids, and they're kind of playing around with these little tire things. So I just went in there and joined them, and for 2 hours, I kid you not, with everybody in the area, we were doing the simplest thing, like playing with tires called kariling and eating gananggang. I said that wrong, but and it was just amazing, And in an area where a lot of people will go and look and instantly look at, okay, there's poverty, there's this, there's that. There's also this amazing happiness, and these people weren't afraid to share it. They weren't afraid to share it with me. Next one. This is Batasan Island. This is just off of Bohol, nearby. And I first went to this island, and I showed up, and there's a lot of damage from the earthquake, of course. It's really sad that things like that happen. But I went there, and right away I noticed this vibrant community. It's just one big, long road and an island with maybe 500 to 1,000 people, and very, very small. And there's all these people. As soon as I got there, they're making their bulad, and like giving me a peers and being super friendly. And then later on in the day, they just all walked up and down the street together making music, and then they went to the basketball court, and they had this amazing sense of community, and they're just sharing happiness, enjoying life. It's beautiful. And then I went to sleep at night in my hammock, and they told me to make sure it was raised up. Turns out every single night that these people live on this island since the earthquake, the tide actually comes in and covers the whole island. So you look at their houses, and there's actually markings because every single night they live with their houses getting flooded by the ocean. But do they choose to focus on that and live negatively? No, they share the positive things that they love about being Filipino or the culture of their lives, like the sense of community or playing basketball, being happy, friendly. And they do that. Imagine that, living with your house flooding and your whole island being taken over by the ocean every single night. And this is Kinatarkan Island. This is North Visayas again. And this is an island that was really hardly hit by Typhoon Yolanda. Now, I went to this island randomly because I spontaneously talked to a fisherman on the beach in Bantayan. He's like, yeah, you could ride the boat 2 hours to our island. So I did. And I showed up there, and next thing you know, I'm walking around this island. There's a lot of destruction. I mean, we all know, we've seen it. I was in Tacloban just after Yolanda. It's so sad, it's miserable. But you look at this, I'm walking down, and there's this house, and it's just made up of random stuff. Like the floor mat was a computer keyboard. You can see like all these random things hanging, like even pictures kind of make up the side of the building. But I hear this music. I walk by this house, and I'm like, man, what's that music? So I kind of walk over, and I poke my head, and there's these three older dudes, and they're just jamming out, playing music together, being happy, sharing positive vibes, in a house that's made up of random stuff where these people's lives have been completely destroyed. And what are they doing for hours? Playing music, having something simple that makes them happy and inspiring more happiness around them, whether it's in my life or other people that come there. And, it's just really, really, really beautiful. And what it teaches me is this, happiness is right there in front of us, but sometimes we just have to remember to open our eyes to it. All of those people I just told you about, they go through, whether it's not having many material things, having to live a much simpler life, having your whole life flooded every night, or having your whole life destroyed by a typhoon, they're still choosing to find simple, positive things and apply that to their lives and people's lives around them. And what's it doing? It's when we share those simple moments of happiness, it brings out the simple, beautiful traits in the people around us. What beautiful traits? Those ones I mentioned earlier. Like wanting to be giving, wanting to share, wanting to, just be happy and do good things for other people, just do positive things. So for me, it's like a constant reminder every day in this country. Why do I walk around with a smile sign? Why am I so happy all the time? Because there's so much reason to be so. And I learn that every day. I could have kicked off again for 2 hours about stories, things like that. But I want to tell you one more thing. So this is in Batangas. This is Anilao up in Luzon. And I was in a place just sitting on the side of the road, and this man walked past me. And I started talking to him, just chatting, random guy. And the next thing you know, we were chatting for an hour, and he goes, hey, Kulas, want to come stay in my place tonight? It's a very, very simple place. I have a bunch of daughters, and, You know, we don't have much, and it's just 2 rooms. We all sleep together in one room, and then there's a kitchen there, and you know, I have just enough to get my daughters to school, and I eat well every day. That's about it. I was like, yeah, let's do it. Cool, sounds great. So I went and stayed in this house. Now, when I walked into that house and I met his daughters, the first thing they did was they looked at me and went, oh, you're Canadian, and oh, your life's so much better than mine. I could just see in their faces. They started to feel miserable. They started comparing themselves with me being a foreigner. They started to feel absolutely miserable. So I went to sleep that night, and I woke up the next morning and thought, why are they doing this? Like, I started watching them, and I started noticing all these cool little things they were doing. Like, they were jamming out the song they made. They were building this cool fire I'd never seen before. So what I did is I turned the tables on them, and that day I just kept going up to them and, hey, what's that amazing fire you're building? How are you doing that? That's so Ayus, that's so cool. Or, hey, whoa, you can speak Messiah and English, 2 languages? What, you're 10 years old? I couldn't do that. That's amazing. But what happened is by sharing those brief little simple moments of happiness I was seeing in their lives, or simple things that they were good at or positive, they became empowered and they became inspired. And then there was no more, oh, you're such a great foreigner, I'm so jealous, I want to go to Canada. There was, yeah, this is awesome. I'm going to go to school today, I'm going to learn. Hey, Kulas, what's up, man? Yo, cool, we're at the same level. You know, it was just beautiful. So it really teaches me, it's one thing that, you know, happiness is so unique. Like, everybody has their own things that they love about life, or everybody has different things in their own lives, or comes from different backgrounds. But what's really, really important is just accept who we are, and we appreciate the simple, beautiful things we have in our lives, and we try and build on those and share those with the world around us. And that's what those girls taught me. And look at them, look how cute they were. They're so cool. And I gave them headbands. It made me happy as well. You know, all I want you to remember, this whole talk, again, I could just keep going and going and going on happiness. Just remember this. Sharing happiness inspires happiness, and especially for Filipino people. There's so many amazing things about your culture, so many simple, amazing things, but you have to be able to open your eyes to them, okay? I know there's so many negative things as well. I've lived with Filipino families, I've worked with OFWs. I'm not Filipino, so I can never make comments on those negative things, because they don't affect my life. But what does affect my life is all those amazing, beautiful, positive things about you as people. And just share some happiness, inspire some more, and please smile. That's it.